Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that your mind is like a vast, intricate web, a web spun by a masterful spider, with each thread representing a thought, a concept, a belief. This web, while a testament to the spider's skill, can also become its own trap. Similarly, our thoughts, while showcasing the brilliance of human intellect, can entangle us, obscuring the very essence of reality. We live in a world dominated by symbols. Words, numbers, and images are tools we've created to navigate our environment. Yet we've become so enamored with these symbols that we've mistaken them for the reality they represent. Money, for instance, is merely paper and ink, or even just digits on a screen. But we've assigned it immense value, allowing it to dictate our actions, our desires, our very lives. This is a striking example of how we're bamboozled by our thoughts, mistaking the map for the territory. Consider the concept of time. We segment our lives into past, present, and future, constantly reminiscing or planning, but rarely experiencing the now. This abstraction pulls us away from the immediacy of our existence, ensnaring us in a mental construct that distances us from genuine experience. But there's hope. By recognizing this veil of thoughts, we can begin to lift it. Meditation offers a pathway to quiet the incessant chatter of the mind, allowing us to reconnect with the world as it is, not as we think it should be. It's in these moments of stillness that we find clarity, seeing beyond the illusions we've woven. As we embark on this exploration together, I invite you to question the assumptions you've held. See the veil for what it is, a delicate fabric of thoughts that can be gently set aside. By doing so, we open ourselves to the richness of the present moment, experiencing life with a freshness and authenticity that is both liberating and profound. Join me on this journey beyond the veil and discover a reality unclouded by the illusions of the mind. Our thoughts, while invaluable tools, often act as a veil, obscuring our direct experience of reality. We frequently mistake these mental constructs for the world itself, leading to a profound disconnection from the present moment. This phenomenon, where symbols and abstractions overshadow tangible experience, is what we refer to as the illusion of thought. Consider the concept of money. At its core, money is a symbol, a representation of value facilitating trade and economic interaction. However, society has elevated this symbol to a status where it often overshadows the actual resources and labor it represents. This confusion between symbol and reality can lead to economic systems where the accumulation of wealth becomes an end in itself, detached from the tangible well-being it was meant to support. Similarly, our perception of time is heavily influenced by thought. We divide time into past, present, and future, creating a linear narrative that our minds can grasp. While this abstraction is useful for organizing experiences, it often traps us in cycles of regret about the past or anxiety about the future, pulling us away from the immediacy of the present moment. This mental construct of time, though practical, can become a source of unnecessary suffering when we lose sight of its abstract nature. The language we use further entrenches this illusion. By labeling and categorizing our experiences, we create a sense of separation between ourselves and the world around us. This linguistic framework fosters the belief that we are isolated entities navigating an external environment rather than integral parts of a unified whole. Such a perspective can lead to feelings of alienation and disconnection as we become ensnared in a web of our own mental constructs. Recognizing the illusion of thought involves understanding that our mental representations are just that, representations, not reality itself. By observing our thoughts without attachment, we can begin to see beyond these veils, reconnecting with the world in its raw, unfiltered form. Practices such as mindfulness and meditation can aid in this process, allowing us to experience life more directly and authentically. In essence, while thought is an indispensable tool, it becomes a hindrance when we mistake it for reality. By acknowledging and transcending this illusion, we open ourselves to a richer, more immediate experience of existence, free from the distortions of our own mental fabrication. Our perception of reality is profoundly influenced by the symbols we create words, images, and concepts that serve as intermediaries between our minds and the world around us. While these symbols are essential for communication and understanding, they often lead us to confuse representation with reality, causing a disconnect from our direct experience of life. Consider the concept of the ego. Alan Watts described the ego as a social institution without physical reality, merely a symbol of oneself. This idea suggests that our sense of a separate self is a construct, a mental image we've developed to navigate society. However, this construct can become a barrier, preventing us from experiencing our true nature and interconnectedness with the universe. Religious practices also illustrate this confusion between symbols and the real. Watts pointed out that a common error in religion is to mistake the symbol for the reality, akin to looking at the finger pointing the way and then sucking it for comfort rather than following it. This analogy highlights how individuals may become fixated on rituals, doctrines, or icons, losing sight of the transcendent truths these symbols are meant to represent. Our reliance on language further entrenches this confusion. Words are symbols that categorize and label our experiences, but they're not the experiences themselves. For instance, the word water is not the liquid substance we drink. It's a symbolic representation. Yet we often operate as if saying the word water is equivalent to experiencing its essence, demonstrating how symbols can distance us from direct engagement with reality. This symbolic veil extends to our self-perception. We construct identities based on societal roles, achievements, and personal narratives, mistaking these labels for our authentic selves. This identification with a symbolic self can lead to feelings of isolation and inadequacy as we compare our constructed identities to idealized standards. Recognizing that these identities are merely symbols allows us to reconnect with our true essence, which is beyond labels and definitions. In essence, while symbols are indispensable tools for navigating the world, they become hindrances when we conflate them with reality. By discerning the difference between the symbol and the real, we can transcend these mental constructs and experience life more authentically, free from the illusions that our symbols often create. Our capacity for abstract thinking has propelled human advancement, enabling us to conceptualize complex ideas, develop intricate technologies, and build sophisticated societies. However, this very ability can ensnare us, distancing us from the immediacy of our lived experiences, a predicament often referred to as the trap of abstraction. In our modern world, there's a relentless pursuit of future goals driven by abstract concepts of success and progress. This chase often leads to a life of perpetual dissatisfaction as we become ensnared in a cycle of striving for an ever-elusive future, neglecting the richness of the present moment. Delphinius56, WordPress.com. This abstraction extends to our self-identity. We construct elaborate self-concepts based on societal expectations, roles, and personal achievements, often mistaking these mental constructs for our true selves. This identification with an abstract self can lead to feelings of alienation and inauthenticity as we become disconnected from our genuine nature. Recognizing the trap of abstraction involves acknowledging that while abstract thinking is a powerful tool, it is not a substitute for direct experience. By cultivating mindfulness and embracing the present moment, we can transcend the confines of our mental constructs, reconnecting with the tangible reality of our existence. This shift allows us to experience life more fully, free from the distortions imposed by excessive abstraction. In the journey of self-discovery, awareness serves as the key to liberation, allowing us to transcend the confines of our conditioned minds and experience reality in its purest form. This process involves recognizing the illusions and mental constructs that shape our perceptions, thereby freeing ourselves from their constraints. Alan Watts, a renowned philosopher and interpreter of Eastern philosophies, emphasized that the ways of liberation aim to transform mystical consciousness into our everyday awareness. This transformation enables us to perceive the world without the distortions imposed by societal norms and personal biases. By cultivating such awareness, we begin to see through the veils of thought that obscure our understanding, leading to a more authentic and liberated existence. Meditation serves as a vital practice in quieting the mind, allowing us to see beyond the veil of thoughts that often cloud our perception of reality. By engaging in meditation, we create a space to observe our mental processes without attachment, fostering a deeper connection with the present moment. Alan Watts, a renowned philosopher and interpreter of Eastern philosophies, emphasized the significance of meditation in transcending the illusions created by our thoughts. He often guided individuals to focus on their breathing and bodily sensations, encouraging a state of mindfulness that anchors us in the here and now. This practice helps in dissolving the incessant chatter of the mind, leading to a more profound understanding of our true nature. In his guided meditations, Watts would often advise practitioners to refrain from judging the sounds and sensations they experience. Through regular meditation, we cultivate the ability to witness our thoughts as transient phenomena rather than identifying with them. This shift in perspective enables us to recognize the impermanent nature of our mental states, reducing the power they hold over us. As a result, we become less entangled in the stories our minds create, experiencing a sense of liberation and clarity. In essence, meditation serves as a tool to quiet the mind, allowing us to transcend the veil of thoughts and connect with the present moment. By integrating this practice into our daily lives, we open ourselves to a more authentic and unfiltered experience of reality, free from the distortions imposed by our mental constructs. Living in the present moment is a profound practice that dissolves the barriers created by overthinking, allowing us to experience life in its most authentic form. Alan Watts, a renowned philosopher, emphasized that our cultural fixation on the illusion of time often leads us to perceive the present as insignificant, merely a fleeting point between an unfathomable past and an uncertain future. This mindset propels us into a relentless pursuit of future goals, overshadowing the richness of the current moment. Watts argued that true happiness and fulfillment are accessible only when we fully embrace the present. He noted that if we require assurance of a happy future to enjoy the present, we are crying for the moon, as such certainty is unattainable. This perspective highlights that postponing our happiness for future promises leads to perpetual dissatisfaction. By immersing ourselves in the present, we break free from the confines of overthinking and mental constructs that often distort our perception of reality. This practice fosters a direct and unfiltered experience of life, enabling us to engage with our surroundings and emotions more deeply. In doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and clarity, unburdened by the anxieties of past regrets or future uncertainties. In essence, embracing the present moment is a transformative practice that liberates us from the limitations imposed by overthinking. It allows us to experience life authentically, appreciating the beauty and depth of each moment as it unfolds. For a deeper understanding of this concept, you might find the following video insightful. In exploring the veil of thoughts, we've delved into how our mental constructs, symbols, language, and abstractions can obscure our direct experience of reality. This veil leads us to confuse representations with the actual world, distancing us from authentic living. Recognizing this illusion invites us to transcend these mental barriers, fostering a deeper connection with the present moment and our true selves. By doing so, we move beyond the confines of thought, embracing life in its fullest expression. For a more in-depth understanding, you might find Alan Watts' lecture on this topic insightful.